You feel that?
I just feel like I need to lose some of these pounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fat and shit.
I think we're gonna have to be quiet. Yeah, tell your wife what I did in here. Also kill yourself.
Wow. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to another movie review for the Month of Gorror 2018, and this time I'm talking about Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. You might even be able to hear the Halloween music in the background, because I got the Blu-ray menu still up, and I'm reviewing this fresh, right after I saw it. This is one of the few Halloween movies when I was a kid. I watched it, but I never watched it over and over again. I only watched it, I think, once when I was a kid, and I never really went back to it. So this is one of the few that I really don't have much of an idea of how good it is. I mean, I could look at reviews, of course, but me personally, I don't remember the quality levels of this movie. Now, after seeing it, now I know why it's bad. All right, everybody, just take a look at this, okay? Look at it. You see this? These are my notes. Usually, when I take notes for a Halloween movie, the notes are about just one page, maybe even less, maybe like I don't know, maybe like 4/5 of a page. This one took almost 2 pages. Why? Because immediately, the first 10 minutes of this movie, I immediately wrote down 6 things. So I knew already, right off the bat, that this is going to be something special. And oh boy, I did not figure it was going to be this bad. Halloween 5, there is a reason why a lot of people consider this the worst in the series. And I know there's some people that really enjoy this one, and I'm okay with that, because for me personally, at least the first half of the movie, I was really enjoying it too, as a B movie, as something that is legit bad. But as a Halloween movie, even compared to 2 and 4, and even 3, this movie is ridiculously dumb. I couldn't believe how stupid this movie was. It really blew my mind how dumb this movie really is. Okay? You know what? Usually I don't do this. Usually I review a movie, I don't look at my notes and stuff. I mean, I do, but I try to conceal that I'm looking at my notes. But I have so many notes here that there's no way in hell I can't just, I can't just look at them and just read them off, pretty much. I have to. So I apologize. This is going to be a crappy review, because I'll just be looking at a book and telling you what I thought. But this is pretty much my play-by-play while I was watching this movie, which really just started to really suck my soul right out of my body, especially towards the last half of the movie. The first half, like I said, I had some good, a good time with it. Last half, oh my god, I couldn't wait until this movie ended. That 95 minutes felt like 950 minutes. I swear, it was so draining, this movie. Alright, so let's just get straight off the bat. The intro to this movie pretty much retcons what happens at the end of Halloween 4. Spoilers for Halloween 4, Michael gets shot a bunch by cops, he falls into a hole, that's pretty much it. That's supposedly where Michael dies, okay? So, what happens in this movie is that they show you what I guess actually happened, where Michael fell in a hole, the cops, blew him away, and then he fell in the hole, and then they threw dynamite at him, which was not seen at the end of Halloween 4, but in here, you see it, they throw dynamite, I guess, but we see Michael escape from that hole, because there's a passage to get out of that hole, and he gets thrown into a river, and then washed up somewhere, and then some, homeless dude, not even a homeless dude, it's some hermit, finds him, and takes care of him for a year, and then Michael wakes up from his coma and then kills the hermit and goes after Jamie again. Jamie now, after the ending of Halloween 4, where it looks like she was going to be the new Michael Myers because she went crazy and started stabbing her stepmom, here we find out that she's just, she's kind of crazy and she's put into some child, mental ward. But she's not a psycho killer. She just had an episode or something like that. You soon find out that in the movie she actually has a psychic link to Michael because they're related, and there's this whole supernatural thing. I swear this movie is nuts. I couldn't believe how stupid this movie was. But they have this psychic link where she knows what Michael's about to do and stuff throughout the movie. She'll be like, oh, he's in the story. He's about to kill what's her name or whatever. It's so stupid. I couldn't believe how dumb it was. But to be honest, first half I was actually enjoying it. So whenever she's like freaking out and stuff, I was enjoying it because I was like, oh, this is kind of like hammy and stuff, and it's ridiculous. It's way too over the top, but I'm enjoying it. But really, what's so strange about this movie is that the tone of it is all over the place. It wants to be the creepy slasher movie. It wants to be just a cheesy slasher movie. It wants to have humor. It wants to have some sexy scenes. And I mean, we've had some of that stuff, of course, in Halloween, but the way it's put into this movie and how it's developed is so bad. It really is really bad here. The humor especially. There's a couple of characters here that are cops that are supposed to be kind of like, not the bumbling ones, but they crack jokes and stuff and they say stupid things. And every time they show up, they play this like really slapstick music and stuff. That's another thing I should say. The score in this movie is really bad. And it's really overindulgent. Every time something scary happens, it has to it has to emphasize that it's really scary by being extremely freaking loud. And of course you still have the Halloween theme, as you can hear in the background. But besides that, like, all the new score and stuff is terrible. But anyway, the tone is just all over the place. It really is. Kind of like how this review is all over the place. And that's another thing. I mentioned that there's a lot of loud moments with the score. This movie has so many cheap-ass jump scares. Like, okay, the other Halloween movies, especially 2 and 3, had jump scares. Halloween 1 had jump scares. Halloween 4 had jump scares. They all had jump scares at one point. But this movie has lame-ass jump scares where it's not earned. It's someone's looking over there, and then they turn around, and then someone's there going, hey, and stuff, and it gets really loud, and it's supposed to be scary because you're caught off guard or whatever. And there's so many moments like that. There's a part, I swear to God, there's a jump scare involving a kitten, and I right when that happened, I said, fuck you, because it really was annoying. It was really pissing me off how many times the movie got loud. Oh my God. You know how many times I had to turn down this freaking movie because it was so loud at times. And then other times I couldn't hear what the hell was going on because they're talking like with this like whisper pretty much like, hey, are you going to a party? Dun, dun, dun! Like, Jesus. Now let's get to the characters of this movie. This is a direct follow-up to the fourth one, and this is the second movie in the trilogy of the Thorn, or whatever, the Thorn trilogy, which is this whole cult that we don't know really anything about in this movie or the last one. We learn about them in the next one, so get ready for that. But this movie has so many lame-ass characters that is a damn shame, because in the last movie we actually had some really likable characters. Of course we had Jamie, who was great, but we also had Rachel, who was the stepsister, or not stepsister, I'm sorry, the foster sister of Jamie, and she was really likable, and they had a really good just had a good little relationship. I really enjoyed that. But this movie throws that out of the window. I'm just gonna, spoilers for Halloween 5 right now. I'm just gonna tell you right here. Rachel, pretty much the main adult character, the Jamie Lee Curtis of the last movie, gets killed off in this movie 15 minutes in. And that 15 minutes, her character seems like she's completely different now. It's a year later in the story, but for some reason her character just seems off. There's something weird about her, where in the fourth one she seemed a little bit more headstrong and she didn't take any shit from people. She found out her boyfriend was cheating on her, didn't take shit from that. Here she just kind of seems ditzy and stuff, and every time we see her she's in a towel or she's naked, and I'm just like, this is weird. And then they kill her off like she's just any other hussy from the friggin' Halloween series, which I know nobody uses the word hussy anymore. I feel old. But it's so strange to have this character that is really likable in the first, or the first one in a trilogy, whatever, the fourth movie, and then bring her back, have the same actress, and then do nothing with her, get rid of her, and then have another character in this movie named Tina that has the same kind of relationship with Jamie, that just shows up out of nowhere. There's this girl named Tina who's kind of a slut in the movie. She acts like that, at least. She's very flirty, I should say. Not a slut. Excuse me. I don't want to slut shame. But she's flirty. So she's this kind of character that's not interesting at all. She's generic, and she has this relationship with Jamie for some reason. We don't know who she is. She wasn't in the last one. And she just shows up, and she's supposed to be like the new character that Jamie gives a shit about. And it just is so strange to me that they got rid of Rachel, who was a likable character, and replaced her with this generic, flirty girl that is not a good actress, by the way. she's really bad in this. A lot of the actors are really bad in this. I would even say Donald Pleasance in this movie was not very good. He was okay, but he had one mode, and that was psychotic in this movie, which I'll get to in a second. By the way, the scar still looks terrible. Doesn't look as bad, but it still looks pretty bad on Loomis's face. Speaking of faces, you see Michael's face in this movie like 4 times. And it's ridiculous because they keep showing you his face and it's just like a regular looking dude, which I know Michael should look like a regular dude, but after the end of Halloween 2, no, he shouldn't. He was a flame ball, but whatever. Now let's talk about Loomis himself, Donald Pleasance. In the last movie, we had a lot of really good moments. Loomis is a great character. Let me just say this. Let me just interrupt myself. Samuel Loomis is a great character, okay? Yes, I do know he's named off, based around a character from Psycho, but he's a great character. He really is. But what I love about Sam Loomis in the other movies is that he's not, I wouldn't say he's like a kind and gentle man. I mean, he has his moments, definitely, but he seems like he's caring. In this one, he just seems like a psycho that does not like Jamie. Because we find out, and Sam Loomis figures this out pretty quick, for some reason, that Jamie has this psychic connection to Michael. So immediately he's like pretty much like shaking her, like, tell me what you have to do with Michael. Help me fight Michael. And every time he's on screen with that girl, he's shaking her and grabbing her and telling her, help me. It just makes him look like a psycho. It really does. And I get at this point that he would be kind of losing his mind because he's been fighting this demon for a big part of his life. But it just comes off as just like him being a completely different character and just being a dickhead throughout the entire thing. And even towards the end, he does things like he uses her as bait. And it's like, this just does not seem like Loomis to me. I will also say that Danielle Harris, I always say Daniel, I don't know why. Danielle Harris is still really good in here. She does a really good job of like portraying someone that has like a mental illness too, in the beginning of the movie at least. She even in this movie for some reason is mute, which makes sense if you're in a traumatic experience like she was at the end of Halloween 4. But here she's mute and then she's not mute. There was no point of making her mute in this movie until later on. I mean, for like the first half of the movie, and then make her not mute later, but that was strange. Whatever. Anyway, her performance is really good, so I have to give her major credit. As a kid actress, she's really good. So, bravo there. Bravo. And I have some more notes here. I got more. I'm just gonna rattle these off right here, okay? Oh my god, okay. The entire time that we see Michael, not the entire time, I shouldn't say that, but most of the time we see Michael, he is driving a car in this movie. And remember in Halloween where he was like stalking people in cars? He was using that to stalk people. Here, there's so many times where he's just in a car and he's just in a car staring. And I'm like, okay, he's stalking, I get it. There's one point where he chases after people in a car. And I'm like, is Michael, like, what is Michael, John Wick? Like, what the fuck is this? Why is he in a car half the movie? It's ridiculous. I hated that. I really did. By the way, I should say the mask itself looks really bad. And I don't even think it's really the mask itself. It's the way the actor, not even the actor, just the way it looks on this person, especially since it's like all like this really bloated and it like the bottom of the mask is like jutting out so much, so it looks like a bobblehead. It's in so many scenes. You'll see in the background it's really dark and you'll just see this like mask float in and it just looks horrible because all of it's black and you just see this white mask kind of float in and the mask doesn't look very good because it's all bloated. It's just weird. It's very strange. So the mask looks bad. There's some really bad and noticeable ADR issues in this movie where they dub actors' voices in and you could tell because the lips don't move sometimes when the person saying something, and also like the sound quality changes and stuff, and sometimes it gets louder. Like there's literally a part where a cop is in a car and his mouth is like open like maybe that much, and he's like saying these words like, we need to get to the precinct or whatever, and he's like saying this at that volume, and it's ridiculous. It's so bad. I couldn't believe how bad the ADR in this movie was. Holy shit. And I don't know, like there's times where it's fine, you know the audio quality is perfectly fine, but there's other times where, like I said, it just gets really loud and ridiculous, and there's times where you can't hear what the characters are saying, and there's times when the ADR is so noticeable it takes you out of the movie that's not good to begin with, so I guess it doesn't really even matter. So and another thing that really sucks about this movie, you can have all that stuff that I said that's bad, but at least have some good kills. And this movie has a lot of deaths. You see a lot of people die, or you see the post-death. You see about 18, 19 dead bodies in this movie. You only see a few kills, and only 2 of them are actually pretty good. Most of the time it's cutaways, or it's really unviolent. Like, we see a hanging. Like, really, a hanging. We see a couple of dead bodies where there's just a little bit of blood on them. We see a couple guys that got killed with a pitchfork, but we don't see them getting killed by a pitchfork. What am I, Medea? But you see the post-death of pitchfork. Does that make sense? No. Okay? It doesn't. But you see a lot of dead bodies, but you don't see a lot of kills. And what you do see is either really generic, like hangings and just someone gets stabbed, or it's really cool and you're like, yeah, and they cut away before it gets really awesome. Like, there's a part where Michael's about to kill someone with a scythe. I'm like, oh, here we go. He's going to cut that bitch's head off. It's going to be awesome. And he slashes, you see a little bit of blood, and then it cuts away and you never see that body. I mean, you do see the body, but you don't really see anything. You just see a body. That's it. You don't even get the satisfaction of seeing like a head on the ground or something. Like, if you're just gonna do a slasher movie that's stupid as shit, then go stupid. I'm okay with that. I love Friday the 13th. Those are stupid as shit. But I guess that's what this movie was trying to do. This came out in, what, 89? And Friday the 13th was still kind of popular then. I think that's what they were trying to do, is make it like that, except they didn't. It feels like that, but it doesn't have the kills to be that kind of slasher movie. Okay, so yeah, the deaths suck. The movie itself feels so drawn out. There's a whole scene where we follow these characters in a barn for literally like 15 minutes. The movie's 95 minutes, by the way, and 15 minutes of this is just watching these characters in a barn playing with kittens while Michael's just like stalking. And there's so many fake outs too. Like, there's one character that's dressed as Michael Myers in the movie, so you know immediately there's gonna be times where that character shows up and you think it's Michael, but it's actually not. So they have so many jump scares where that guy just shows up and it looks like he's about to kill somebody, but guess what? It's not actually Michael. It's some fucking douchebag. Alright, I'm done. I've said enough. This movie just really annoyed me, and it made me not want to watch any more Halloween movies until the new one, because I heard the sixth one's bad too. So I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the new one. Of course I am, but this one really drained me. It really did. I am still looking forward to seeing the sixth one, because I heard the producer's cut is better than the original cut, which I do remember the original cut. It also has Paul Rudd in it, so I love me some Paul Rudd, even young Paul Rudd, which, by the way, Paul Rudd always looks young. Like, that guy's like, what, 85 now? He looks like he's like 25. He looks younger than me. What's going on here? Huh? I'm aging like a fine shit, not fine wine. Like a turd baking in the sun. You can smell me through this camera. Alright, I'm done. I have to give this a score, and I'm going to give this... I mean... what can I say? Like, nothing is good about this movie besides like small little things. Like, I actually liked the retconned intro. I thought it made sense. It definitely made more sense than the intro from the last movie where they don't even explain how Michael Myers and friggin' Loomis survived. But okay. A couple of the kills could have been cool. There's a claw to the face. That was cool. I can't think of anything I really liked. The first half was bad, but it was like enjoyable bad, because there was like a lot of dumb moments and silly cutaways and stuff. But I'm like getting depressed. I don't know what else to say. I gotta give it a 12 out of a 40. It's bad. That's like a 3 out of 10. I really dislike this one, and I wanted it to be over as quick as possible. It's also like the longest one so far too. Like, Jesus. Like, I've been doing this review for so long, my freaking computer went to sleep. So, anyway, there you go. I wish I went to sleep during this movie. But anyway, there you go. That is my review. I know this is the longest one, but this is the one I had a lot to say about. Like I said, I had a lot of notes on this one. So, that's it. That is it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Yeah, I got the sixth one coming up soon. I'm actually about to watch that one right now. Anyway, there you go. Thank you. Until next time, of course, goodbye.